I thought that, maybe our inexperience in the tournament showed, the first 10 minutes of the game. So many young players, Vanover being a sophomore, two freshmen that played a lot, Davis and Moses Moody, along with Jalen Williams, who's in our rotation. And then I thought we got a little bit settled in, maybe after the nerves of that first 10 minutes. I thought our defense was incredible. Our full court 55 defense to speed the game up on that 17-0 run to end the first half. And then I thought we did a great job of closing the game out as well down the stretch. I thought we just kept building the lead, building the lead, building the lead as the game progressed.
Great, thank you. We're going to start with our first question. Today we are going to turn to, looks like we have Andrew Hutchinson with Hogbeat. Andrew, if you could please unmute yourself and ask your question. Thank you.
Yeah, Coach, you talked about the defensive pressure there during that 17-0 run. Did you expect that to be something you needed to do, picking up full court, or was that something you just decided middle of that first half?
No, we were gonna unleash it. I didn't know if it was going to be in the second half, Hutch, or if it was going to be in the first half, or when it might be. But I mean, we were going to do that. We had talked about, you know, my son was in my room last night. We talked about potentially having to play Justin at some five. I hadn't addressed that with the team much. But Michael and I had discussed it. I thought maybe that would help us speed the game up, and I thought Justin could protect the rim against their bigs. And obviously Connor's been a big part of what we've done all year. Jalen Williams has, Ethan has, but tonight, again, kind of a father-son conversation about, that was a way to change the tempo of the game if we needed to do that. And we tried all three centers. I didn't like the complexion of the game at all, or the pace of the game, and that 17-0 run with four guards and Justin Smith out there. Again, I think that changed the complexion, and I thought the last 5 minutes of the game as well. So we closed the half out phenomenal, Hutch, and then we closed the game out as well.
Great, thank you. Our next question today will be with Curtis Wilkerson from Hog Sports. Curtis, if you could please unmute and ask your question.
Hey, Coach, you brought Jalen Tate in as a grad transfer, and he's one of the few guys that you had that's been there, done that in the NCAA tournament before. I know things have been a little shaky for him in recent games. Can you just talk about the leadership and the game that he played today?
I thought he was phenomenal. 4 assists. Curtis, he had 7 rebounds. He knocked down 4 or 4 from the foul line. But the 7 rebounds was really important, because when you play small ball like we did tonight, you're going to need your guards to fold back and rebound. And I thought he did a phenomenal job of doing that, being our second leading rebounder, and then J.D. Note being our third leading rebounder. But and then when you only have 10 turnovers, you've got to look to your point guard, which Jalen did a great job taking care of the ball. 4 assists to only 1 turnover. And really, we just, Devo, had some turnovers early. And then other than that, we probably only had 6 turnovers, the rest of the way after we were shaky at the very beginning. So good job creating steals, excellent job of getting to the foul line and trying to attack the rim with much more force in the second half.
Thank you. Our next question will be from Scotty Bordelin with Whole Hog Sports. I would remind you, if you have your hand raised, please identify yourself with your name on your system.
Hey, Coach, Justin is the first Arkansas player to go for 29 and 13 in a tournament game since Corliss Williamson in '94. Just how big was he today? And I guess you felt like he was a pretty good mismatch for you guys today.
Yeah, I just thought the combination of strength, speed, athleticism would be a lot for their front line to handle. And I knew if we went to that it might hurt us a little bit on the glass, which it did. We didn't win the rebounding battle. The next game's going to have a different complexion. Somebody else is going to have to step up. We'll probably have to play bigger than we did tonight. I understand that. But that's what this game called for. It's really hard to advance in this tournament against anybody. Colgate's a team that cuts hard. You know, we heard everybody talking about how this was a circle this game. We were going to get upset. I'm just happy we're advancing and moving on to the next game.
Thank you. Our next question comes from Christian Pectamit. Please unmute and ask your question now.
Hey, Coach, congratulations on the win.
Thanks, Christian.
So you guys obviously just made the round of 32. You haven't made the round, or the program hasn't made the Sweet 16 since '96. You'll be playing the winner of Utah State or Texas Tech. What's the mindset or the message going into that game?
I just want to go back out in the arena and wave to my wife and daughter and my son. And then as soon as that game's, our assistant coaches are divided up where one, has Utah State, one has Texas Tech. I'm not going to spend any time because we're going to find out probably by the time we get, our bus gets back to the hotel. We'll probably at that time know who we're playing, and then we'll start our preparation. You know what? There was no celebrating in the locker room tonight. The other tournaments that we've been able to advance in, there's a lot of celebration even after game one. There was none. When I walked in and asked if they were happy and all right, they said, Coach, we were supposed to win, which is the mindset that you want your basketball team to have. And we know that this next game is going to be even more of a challenge. Both teams present problems. I know Utah State because we played against them, and Cato's a force inside. They have great shooting, and obviously anytime you're talking about Texas Tech, they're physical. And but we'll worry about them, once we get back to the hotel.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks.
Thanks. Next up, Coach, we have with you Bob Holt from the Democratic Gazette, who has a question. Thank you.
Okay. Hey, Eric. How you doing?
I'm good, Bob. I miss you.
I thought you froze up, but I saw your eyes blink. Hey, Colgate's a team that obviously is taking pretty good care of the ball, but they haven't played a team like you guys. But getting 22 turnovers, turn those into 34 points, how big was that? And if I understood correctly, you and Michael talked about the press last night, and then that's what you guys did today. Have I got that right?
Yeah, we didn't do it until we had to because it was out of necessity. We started picking up full court. Like I said, Bob, our 55 defense. Obviously, if the game plan was to play Justin at center from the get-go, we would have done that. But I threw Jalen Williams out there. We threw Ethan out there. Obviously, Connor started. And then we went small at halftime. And I got feedback from the players as well, and they felt like, that they felt comfortable going small as well against Colgate. And I knew we were going to have to turn them over. We couldn't let them run their offense. And again, I attribute, at least early on, to some nerves maybe. But hey, we're moving on, and that's what this whole thing's about.
How come you call it 55, and was it even more effective? How much of you guys practice that, and was it more effective than you could have imagined?
No, we've done it of late. We did it a lot at South Carolina. We have worked on it. Our 5 defenses are man-to-man, and 55 just means full court, man-to-man. We can, I don't know how much more you want me to tell Craig Smith or Coach Beard, but
that's okay.
But yeah, we do practice it. Yeah, but it's one of 4 different full court defenses that we can go to.
All right. Thank you, Bob. Next up, Coach, we have a question from Eric Kelly. Eric?
Hey, Coach. Obviously, you're not sure about which team exactly you're going to play next in the round of 32, but just kind of what do you know about each of those 2 programs, Utah State and Texas Tech?
Well, obviously, first of all, I like your name, Eric. That's good. Second of all, I was in the Mountain West, so I played against Utah State for 4 years. I know their personnel. Some other staff members that were at Nevada know their personnel. And then when I was at Nevada, we also played at Texas Tech. And then David Patrick on our staff was in that conference when he was at TCU. So I'm not really worried about either team right now until we know who we play. So, I mean, their depth charts are up in our locker room right now. But we won't start talking to the team until we know for sure who we play.
I'm not worried about you. All right, next up we have Trey Biddy, who's with Hog Sports. Trey, please unmute.
Hey, Coach. I was curious about JD Note and his aggression. Is that something that you just kind of live with for fear of taking away that killer instinct that he has? Because, I mean, dropping some daggers and has done that all year.
Yeah, Trey, I mean, I would I don't know how many baseball fans we have here, but, I mean, he's either going to hit a home run or strike out. You know, historically, you know, I've had some players like that, and I just give them freedom. You know, I don't want to try to control their game. You know, the beauty in some players is the freedom that you allow them, and then they just, you know, like JD, he's just playing ball, man. I mean, his attitude when he walks out there is no different than if he was playing on a park somewhere. You know, shirts and skins. He just goes out there and he just plays. You know, and you're gonna live with an air ball 3, and then the next time down he's gonna hit a Steph Curry step back 3 from 35 feet. And I've made the decision with JD and a lot of our players that I'm just going to give them freedom offensively and then demand that they play defense at the other end. And again, I thought, you know, that's a very good offensive-minded team. Colgate, we heard all about their scoring and being in the top 10 in the country. And, you know, is this game going to be in the 80s? Well, we hold them to 68 points. We hold them to 39% from the field. We're an underrated defensive team. I think people look at our offensive numbers and sometimes don't realize how good we play defense for the majority of the year and how much pride we take in our defense. You know, you got to play both sides of the ball, and I think a lot of our offensive numbers are because of our defense.
I think Brennan Haywood, you didn't get to hear him, did a great job doing color on the game, but he said Vinny Johnson's already got the microwave. So maybe like the air fryer, would that be an appropriate nickname for JD?
We can go with the air fryer. I'll ask JD if he likes it.
Thanks, Coach.
Yep, thank you.
Thanks. We're going to do one quick follow-up from Andrew Hutchison, and that'll be the last question for today.
Yeah, Coach, Moses had 7 quick points right out of the gate, but only finished with 12, 5 the rest of the way. What was Colgate able to do to kind of keep him quiet offensively?
I mean, I thought they did a good job of staying attached to Moses. And, I mean, Moses, he played 35 minutes and had 1 rebound, which is uncharacteristic of him. And, you know, they just stayed attached to him. And guess what? Sunday's going to be a different game, and we need Moses Moody to have a good game. And I know he'll be locked in. He's played great all year. You know, regardless of any, he still scored in double figures. You know, he took 8 shots and got 12 points. And you know, they elected to not leave him and not help off of him. And so that opens up some things for some other people.
All right. Thank you, Coach. We'll be joined in just a minute by Justin Smith. Stand by, everyone. Thank you. Thanks for joining us, Justin. Good to have you here. As a reminder, if you as a reporter have any questions, please raise your hand and we will get to you. We're going to go with our first question here with Bob Holt from the Democratic Gazette. Bob?
Thank you. It's Democrat Gazette, but I appreciate you calling on me. Hey, Justin, congratulations. Your all's defense was really good today. You had 5 steals along with all the other stuff you did. What do you think of the defense, and especially how well that press worked once you guys put the full court man-to-man on them?
I think kind of early on in the first half, we're letting them be a little bit too comfortable. And then I don't know if coach called it or somebody just made the decision like we're just gonna start pressing them and see what happens. And then that really allowed us to really use our athleticism, and not really let them get comfortable on offense and really speed them up and play the way that we want to play. Um, so I think that momentum that we got in the last 4 minutes of the first half really carried us throughout and really showed us the way of how we were going to win this game.
And you forced 22 turnovers, which is a ton, obviously, and you scored 34 points off that. What did you think of the turning, defense into offense?
I mean, that was important. In the first half, none of our shots were really falling, and we used those turnovers to really get out and run and get easy baskets. So, that's where a good portion of our offense came from. So, without that, we probably wouldn't have won the game.
Thanks.
All right. Thanks for your understanding on your organization's name. Sorry about that, Bob. Next up, we're going to go to Curtis Wilkerson. Curtis is with Hog Sports.
Hey, Justin, congratulations on the win. I think you probably had your best game in at least an Arkansas uniform today. That's a good time to save it. Can you just talk about your performance today and, what opened things up for you, especially on the offensive end with the 29-point outburst?
Going into the game, Coach Muss really hammered home the point of we want to go after them inside and use our size and athleticism, and I was able to take advantage of that. And also, I got fouled, and I was able to make my free throws. I've been putting a lot of work on those, and, I'm glad that, it worked out.
All right. And, Justin, if you could lean in a little closer to the microphone, that would be helpful. Thank you very much. Next, we're going to turn to Andrew Hutchinson. Andrew is with Hogbeat. Andrew?
Yeah, Justin, y'all done it several times this year where you've fallen down by double digits in the first half, but managed to come back and win. Did that previous experience help y'all? What was the kind of the mood and the huddle whenever y'all got down 14 there in the first half?
I mean, I wouldn't say it's a good thing that we that we know how to win that way. I mean, obviously you need to know how to do it eventually, but it definitely, I'm sure it helped, but it teaches us how to not give up, to keep fighting and find a way to win the game. So, and that's important in this tournament. So, shout out to Colgate. They really, gave us a run for our money, but, I'm glad we were able to figure it out in the end.
Thank you. Next question will go to Christian Peckdemick. Christian?
Hey, Justin, congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
So you guys got down 14 that first half, obviously, and then answered with a 19-0 run, 17 to close the half. Jalen Tate had scored or assisted on 10 of those. How important was his elevated play to the win?
It was big. It was very big for us. I mean, he really does a lot of different things for us. He really settles us down on offense and gives us, he just gets us into our spots, into our sets, and, puts everybody in the right place. And, he was definitely a big component in that run. And, I'm glad that he was able to stay out of foul trouble this game. And, we really needed him out there, and he definitely delivered.
Thank you.
All right. Next question we have is Trey Biddy. Trey, please unmute.
Hey, Justin, congratulations on the win. I was curious. You've kind of always been the same guy every time we talk to you, just a very calm demeanor. And I don't know if you guys were tight at the beginning. Did you feel like that? Because you were really there from start to finish, and you attribute that to, I don't know, just kind of your attitude and your approach to the game.
Yeah, for me, I really kind of go into every game just kind of figure out, which way can I make an impact, and not really, go in like, oh, I'm going to shoot all these shots, or I'm going to try and do this or try and do that. Because I feel like, if you do that, if you put too much pressure on yourself and you don't really let the game come to you, because the game it's a rhythm game, and you have to find your way to get into the flow. I mean, as a group, I think we may have been tight, but we were also, as a group, just figuring out what they were doing. I mean, they play a way that we really haven't played all year, and we were just kind of figuring it out. But we can't get behind like that, especially in this tournament. And I think once we got loose, we were ready to go.
Thanks, Justin.
Thank you.
All right, our last question today is from Scotty Bordelon. Scotty?
Yeah, Justin, JD played really big off the bench again, scored all 14 of his points in the second half. Just how important is that scoring burst that he can give you in a game to help create some separation?
I mean, it's so important. He always finds a way to, hit a big shot because I think he's just fearless offensively. I mean, regardless of however many shots he's missed or however many shots he's taken, he's going to come in. And if he feels like he's going to make it, he's going to shoot it. And, I mean, we're going to live with the result regardless because we need him to do that. We need him to have his confidence, and we need his scoring. So just having that little Swiss Army knife coming off the bench to add to the scoring from the first group, it's very helpful, and it's a key. And it usually, as we see, especially in the last couple of games, it makes a big difference.
All right. Thank you, Justin Smith, for your time today. Best of luck in the next round. That's it for today's post-game news conference. A transcript of this interview will be provided by ASAP Sports and posted along with the recording of the press conference in the NCAA Digital Media Hub, which is available at www.ncaa.veritone.com. Thanks all for joining us. Have a great afternoon.